Hello friends, how are you? Good morning, yay! Red light. So right now I'm in Cedar Park, Texas. I'm heading to the gas station. I'd like to head out with a full tank. I'm going to meet up with my buddies for breakfast as usual on Saturday mornings. That's a nice fun ride. It's about an hour or so out to breakfast, an hour or so back. But today after breakfast I'm going over to Hill Country Motorheads Museum. This is a motorcycle museum in Burnet, Texas, which is kind of on the way home. A little bit of a detour, but the detour is a very fun ride. But I'm after breakfast going to go out there, going to interview the owner of the museum. Almost missed my turn there. So that's what my plan is today. Some breakfast, fun riding with buddies, and then go interview the museum owner. That's what we're doing today. Okay. I love this tank bag. It's an SW Motec tank bag. I don't know if you can see that. It's expandable, so it goes up higher, but I never really need to expand it. A question, how about you guys with the keyless ride? With the RS or R, or RT, any of the BMW keyless rides. Over time, my bike is now pushing 6 years old. My keyless ride little thing, I think it's wearing out. It doesn't like to open sometimes. And it's you gotta kind of fiddle with it to close it as well. I don't know if you guys have that problem. Let me know in the comments below. It's supposed to rain today. But I'm just... Right now it looks okay, but weather here changes so fast. And when it says it's gonna rain, it doesn't. And when it says it's not going to rain, it does. And it always happens once you're committed and far away from home. Let's go this way. Alright, so now I'm going to head over to a coffee shop where all the guys are going to meet up. I think we have at least 2 other people, so there should be at least 3 or 4 of us probably. Alright, made it to the meetup. So we're at this place over here, Mojo's, I think it's called. I'm reading it backwards in the camera. Alright, so let's go inside and then we're going to head out into the Hill Country for breakfast. Okay, everyone's done with their coffee. Alright, we're off. Alright, so this is the map, the route we're taking out to the restaurant. There we go. I'm going to cut the camera off and save some battery for my interview at the museum later. Okay, we're here. Breakfast time. So this is the breakfast joint here up in front of me on the left. Ubers.
Breakfast good, breakfast good.
Pancakes!
Alright. Finish up breakfast, heading to the museum.
Hello friends, we're here in Burnet, Texas, here with my friend Pat Hanlon. How you doing?
Doing great.
Good to see you, sir. So we're in Pat's museum here. This is Hill Country Motorheads Museum of Motorcycles. So I'm going to ask Pat a whole bunch of questions and we're going to walk around, check the place out. So stay tuned, we'll be right back. All right, Pat, we're here in the heart of your museum here, and we're just going to go through a bunch of questions I came up with that I thought, I want to know the answers to, but I think maybe some of the viewers would like to know too. So we're going to throw a bunch of questions at you right now.
Okay.
So for those that are not in Central Texas or around this area, never been here before, don't know you, tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, I, as you can tell, I'm pretty much a lifelong motorcycle enthusiast. Started back when probably 10, 12 years old with mini bikes. I'm pretty much retired from the energy industry, manufacturing. So I get to spend most of my time here at the museum. We have a couple daughters, 4 grandkids that don't live far from here. So
so is this a hobby you've picked up? This is quite the hobby.
Yeah. Well, actually, the way that started was when my daughters were getting up in high school, and they were doing their own thing, left me with a lot of time on my hands. And I'm an old ex-motocross racer from the 70s, so I started restoring 1970s motocross bikes that I liked. And over time, our business got better and started branching out into street bikes and all kinds of racing motorcycles, and until it added up to what we have today. It's just taken about 25 years.
So touching on what you just kind of mentioned there a little bit, what was do you remember the very first mini bike or dirt bike, or what was it that you had, the very first one that you twisted the throttle and went, whoa?
Well, back in the late 60s, motorcycles were getting really big, especially Japanese bikes. They were pretty much putting everybody else out of business. But we had the little, it was little mini bikes with the lawnmower engines and pull start and centrifugal clutches. That's where it all started back in the day.
Little fat tires.
Yeah, you could buy them for $100 or less back in the day. Mow yards and
go-karts were big back then too. Go-karts. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, go-karts were huge back then too, but you had to ride them on the street.
Yeah.
It was really hard to take them out in the desert. But these little mini bikes, we go everywhere on them, my brother and I, every day.
Very cool. So what was we mentioned some dates there, back in the 60s, 70s. What was it? Actually, did you grow up around this area, or where did you grow up?
I actually grew up in El Paso.
Oh, okay.
My father was in the Army at Fort Bliss.
Quite far from here, but still Texas.
Yeah. It's grew up there, and then which is a great place if you like dirt bikes, because the desert was open everywhere. You can go anywhere. You could ride for hundreds of miles without a fence. Mm-hmm. But then I moved, when I was 21, I moved to Midland and out in West Texas, and took a job out there and lived out there my whole professional life until about 14 years ago when we moved down here to the Hill Country.
Okay. So what was back in the 70s out there in El Paso kind of area, what was the bike culture like? Was it mostly dirt bikes, or a lot of Harleys, or what would you see on the roads?
Oh my gosh. That was a great thing about motorcycles, and I think that had a lot to do with influencing me. Was there was everything on this that people rode back in the day. That the 70s, especially the 70s and late 60s, were what we referred to as the Renaissance period for motorcycles. And it's because we still had the European bikes, the British stuff, and from all over the world, European, but the Japanese started making just really good motorcycles, good mini bikes, and especially racing bikes. So that period, we would see everything, just about everything you see here in the museum that is, say, 60s and 70s, was just an everyday thing that we saw on the streets. And you can see how it can hook you. If you're a young guy and you just like things on two wheels, it was like everywhere. Every stoplight you went to was a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Half your neighbors had bikes
Yeah.
back then. Everybody had them.
Well, I think they were more, I mean, during that time where I grew up, my neighborhood, we had a lot of, like you said, a lot of Japanese bikes, a lot of Harleys, especially a lot of Harleys. But they were more accessible, I think, and most people I saw on the roads were riding used or parted together Harleys or things that they built themselves, or, you know, it was just, I think, a lot easier than now. Most people you see, if you know, like ride out here on the 1431, this fun road out here,
Yeah.
you see everyone's like on a brand new, you know, BMW or a brand new Harley or an Indian or something like that compared to
Sure.
back then. Is that kind of what you feel too?
Yeah, and there's reason for it.
Yeah.
Is because you know, as cool as these old bikes are, they're hard to keep running generally, and you if you know what you're doing, or you take it to the shop that really knows what they're doing, they can dial it in and make them super dependable, do some upgrades, electronic ignition, things like that. But for the most part, you ride a vintage bike enough, it's going to leave you on the side of the road, you know, for something. But
Yeah.
and something about the beauty of these new modern bikes that are so dependable and electric start, and they get you to and from, you know, and comfortably,
Yeah.
and fast.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
you can see why you don't see too many vintage motorcycles on the road. Yeah.
So you mentioned you kind of grew up in El Paso. So let's talk a little bit about the museum here itself. Like, how did this Hill Country Motorhead Museum come to be, and you guys kind of headed out this way and put down some roots here?
Sure. That's not a real long story. We were living out in Midland, and we had our business at the time out there, and we had the bug to get out of that flat, ugly desert and come down where you have trees and some water and some hills.
Yeah.
And so we ended up buying some property down in around Lake LBJ, and so it's just gonna be a summer home. Well, then we decided, let's just move on down there. So, but the problem is I had over 100 motorcycles there that were just in a warehouse, just drawing dust. It was like I was hoarding.
Yeah.
You know, nobody knew I had them except for certain friends. And so when we got ready to move, it was a big decision to make, whether to just get rid of them and sell them, have an auction or something like this, or do something with it. But I absolutely did not want to warehouse them and not share them. So
Sure.
that's when the decision was made. When we move down here, we're going to look for a property, and we're going to try a museum, and then we found this place right here. So away we went. It took 2 years to renovate this place because it was an old Ford dealership.
Oh, okay.
And then it was a startup church after that, and you can see some things about the architecture in here. You can see some remnants of that. And
God bless the motorcycle industry.
yeah, there you go. I know. The stage up there with the British bikes was actually where the choir and the preacher stood. So yeah, so we just we took the big leap and decided to build a museum, and it's been a great ride.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's in a good place too. Like I said, I've been by here many times. When you go from, you know, for those people that don't live around here, when you go from, like, say 35, head west, and then you head out towards the Hill Country, I'm always coming by here on the way home after going through like Park Road 4 and 1431 and all the fun roads around here. This is this main road out here is how I get home usually, because
Yeah.
it's just kind of direct, get me back to
29.
to the you know, Round Rock kind of area.
Sure. You know, this is pretty much a main thoroughfare for people that's coming out here to ride the Hill Country.
Now, go back a little bit what we were talking about earlier. I just wanted to ask this quick question about yourself, and like, what do you consider yourself, a dirt rider or a street rider, both, or how has that changed over the years?
I pretty much threw the towel in on racing and dirt riding back in the early 80s when I started having kids, and went to street bike. So That's what I consider myself now as a street rider. I'm considering maybe getting started on this adventure bike thing.
Oh, okay.
I have so many friends my age that are doing it and just having a blast. So I'm tempted to give that a try.
Yeah, here I have friends that do that, but here the challenge is everything's private property in Texas. Texas is all owned by people, so it's hard to find public trails. They're around, but that's the downside. So what are you riding? Do you have one bike you like to ride on the street, or do you kind of have a bunch? I mean, you have a whole bunch to choose from, but
yeah. Well, even though I don't have a real big collection of Harleys, that's what I ride. I have a Harley. 2013 Harley Road Glide.
Road Glide, okay.
That I ride,
Yep.
and that's pretty much it. I keep that real simple. I just have one motorcycle I have to constantly maintain.
Yeah, well, it's a nice bike. It's the rolling sofa.
Yeah, it is.
Super comfortable.
It gets me where I need to go.
So the backdrop here, we do have a lot of bikes in the shot here, but there's a lot more. How many bikes do you have in your kind of total collection?
Total collection could be pushing around 300, but we only have room to display about 160 in the museum.
Oh, okay. So you kind of rotate the bikes around sometimes.
Yeah, and not all the ones that aren't in the museum are restored either. They're all maybe going to get restored someday, and so
works of art in the making.
Yeah, that's one of those projects that you keep on your bucket list, and you sometimes finish them, sometimes you don't. So, but we have, besides what's in the museum, I probably have another 30 bikes that we swap in and out, kind of change the scenery up a little bit.
And all the bikes that are make it on the floor, are they all running?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have about 25 bikes in here that are on loan to us from the owners, and can't attest to all of them, but I never put a bike that belongs to us in here that
you can't
doesn't
jump on.
run. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So what kind of era of motorcycles are you drawn to, and why? Like what era do you like the best?
Well, probably being my age and everything, I would say late 60s all the way up through the 70s.
It's kind of a loaded question because it's two parts. It's like looking at it or riding it.
Well, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
As far as riding them, I'll take a brand new motorbike any day.
Okay.
But they are fun. Every now and then to just get one in, service it out, fire it up. And when we buy one, I usually ride it before we mothball it.
Sure. Mm-hmm. And then you have lots of different brands represented here. What brand or country, if you want to attach it to that, is your favorite? Or is that kind of asking like what's your favorite kid?
In a way, yeah, it is. But everybody deep down has their favorite kid, right? I would say the British bikes. I just find the styling
for the time
is so iconic, and they were really good design people. The Italians too. Well, I don't have too many Italian bikes. We have a few, but the just to look at, I love the British bikes.
Okay, and now bringing this question to the masses, the people that do come through here, what is kind of the one bike that everyone kind of like? Ooh, wow, it's got one of those. That's a nice one. What is that? Is there that one bike here that's that kind of bike?
Well, the one that, ironically, the one that people notice the most and probably spend the most time looking at is the one you're standing next to right there, the 1910 Harley Davidson.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's definitely a looker.
Yeah, and I mean, it just attracts a lot of attention just because it's way older than everything else in here. And maybe it's just the positioning in the museum, but as soon as people walk in, that's where they go to.
Other than this bike next to me, what is there a bike in here that has like a really interesting story?
Right over here is it's a Suzuki motocross bike, okay, and it's probably one of the most rare bike in this whole collection, and it's the very first production motocross bike that Suzuki made back in 1968.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it's there's only about 14 or 15 of them documented worldwide in existence. Wow. They only made maybe 100 or a little bit more than that total, and then they changed the design after that. But we do have one here. It's called a TM250 or a RH67, and it's called a twin pipe. And to us motocrossers and off-road people, that's the holy grail. It really is.
So my next question, probably that answered it possibly, because I was going to ask what's the rarest motorcycle you have here. Would that be it? Yes, I believe so. Okay. So let's move on to some kind of silly or fun questions. Not really silly, but what's the slowest bike in this collection? Full throttle.
Full throttle. Oh my gosh. I would say there's a couple little old school mini bikes in the front room that are with the old Briggs & Stratton engines and the pull start. Those weren't too fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say top speed, they would probably win the slow bike contest here.
What do you think? 25, 30 miles an hour or something like that?
Probably 20
yeah.
max. Yeah.
and then on the opposite side of that question, fastest. What's the fastest bike you got?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's the Ducati 999.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Parts Unlimited Team USA bike.
Okay.
But it's not so vintage. It's like a 2006 model, but it's just really popular here when people come in, because a lot of people are not baby boomer age, like myself and a lot of the people that come in here, and they get excited about seeing something a little bit newer. So
yeah,
I get that.
That's true.
Yeah.
Another kind of fun question: which bike has the most unique sound?
It's funny, but to me, the little small two-stroke bikes with a expansion chamber on them, a performance pipe on them, they are the coolest sounding little bikes. They sound like a little bumblebee spitting out smoke. And I've got one here. It's a made in Italy, but it's badged as an Indian from back in the early 70s.
Oh, okay.
That's when you start that thing up, it's just it'll attract a crowd.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How about what was the hardest bike to restore, or like maybe finding the parts and all that kind of stuff?
Ooh, I'm on the tail end of finishing up right now a ground up restoration of a 1974 Kawasaki H1 500 triple two-stroke, and that has been a year-long restoration so far. Maybe a little bit longer. It's been painstaking. A lot of people can do them faster, but this one was really ratty when we started. So this is really absolutely every part, including the engine, the crank, everything.
So, but the parts part of it, getting the right parts was difficult, or?
Yeah, little bits and pieces, but they're not the rarest bikes in the world. I'm sure if somebody wanted to, if I was to restore an old Vincent or something like the British Vincent or Royal Enfield or something like this, that the parts are extremely hard to find. But I just haven't restored any of those.
And then what's one bike you don't have yet or never had, but it's on your list of I wish I had one of those?
I have two.
Okay.
I have two.
I'll let you have two.
I do have a bucket. I do have a bucket list, and luckily every now and then I scratch something off it. But one is a early Harley Knucklehead EL, and the other one is I've been looking for a long time for a old school shovel head double engine top fuel dragster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Double
I think,
engine.
don't you have a double engine over there or something?
Yeah, that's a Honda.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
And then this is kind of the last of these kind of fun questions. Who is the most interesting or kind of famous person that came through your museum that you got the chance to meet?
Wow. That's like picking your favorite kids for sure. It is. We've had some really famous racers in this museum, and people that were my idols growing up. And I mean, they're my age, of course, but when I was young, they were world champions, things like this. But I think the most interesting and most accomplished person that's been in here is a guy named Gary Davis.
Okay.
And he was a famous Hollywood stuntman. He was Evel Knievel's stunt double in most of his movies, and also whenever Knievel would crash, and then he had a contract for so many more jumps, he would call Gary to finish up his tour. And he was a movie director, a lot of famous movies, choreographer for stunts and thing. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And he lives over here in North Austin, and originally from California, but he is the most fascinating person that I've met.
Very cool. And then this is something I saw on your website. I haven't been to it, but you have a motorcycle revival that you do annually, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, what that's all about?
Sure. Texas Motorcycle Revival takes place here at the museum first Saturday of November every year.
Okay.
Okay. And what it is it's a vintage motorcycle show where people will bring their bikes in just for the day from generally all over the state, but sometimes adjoining states. They show up. It's just a one-day show. We usually end up with 160 to 180 bikes that people bring in just for the day. And we always have a special guest, which is usually an ex-famous racer or a Gary Davis type of person. And food trailers, music playing, and a lot of visitors come in. It's probably one of the busiest events in Burnet.
Yeah, well, you got a decent sized parking lot out there too, so that's pretty cool.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're lucky, you know, because this was a Ford dealer, so they had a big parking lot, which has really helped us out a lot here.
Yeah.
So and it keeps getting bigger.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I will definitely come this year. In November is usually the weather's pretty nice here in Central Texas. November, October time is quite nice.
For sure.
I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. I hope you had fun cruising around with us and listening to Pat talk about his history and all the bikes here. Thanks, Pat, so much for having us. It was great.
Thanks for coming, Jeff. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's been a great visit.
If you're in the area, make sure you swing by. Come stop by. Where are we located? What's the address?
2001 West Highway 29, Burnet, Texas.
Okay, it's main road, can't miss it. So come on by and check out these cool bikes. Thanks for stopping by. Thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. Love it, appreciate it. Take care.
Come see us.